So how else could we make a semi-abstract aspect of modern life comedically literal? Working in an office costs you your soul. What if you literally had like a soul meter and it gets depleted by things that you need to do for money?
Yeah.
Well, like in a video game where you have like mana above your head or like stamina above your head, and it's totally good. Or like in The Sims. That is essentially what The Sims does, like health bars and like social bars and stuff, that kind of thing.
Oh, I think we've just invented a Fitbit.
Yeah, but everyone would be able to see it.
So it'd be like a ranking kind of system to it.
Fitbit, but you wear it on your forehead. So everyone can always...
And everyone's
It's a
like,
fit
wow,
hat.
you're depressed. I would just get that all the time. I'd be like, oh,
I do get that.
shit, you're depressed.
Shit, son. What happened?
Like, you haven't. No.
I bought my
Please
kid a
stop.
bike this week.
Please top up on well-being. You got to go to the well-being center. And there's just kittens in there.
Dude, you need to take a bath or something. Like, seriously.
It's like one of those utopias that's not a utopia, because what they don't allow are the emotions that aren't measured by the forehead Fitbit. That's the tagline.
Forehead Fitbit. The 4-bit.
The 4-bit.
4-bit, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not about fitness, is it?
No.
It's about,
it's
like,
not.
different aspects of your...
Yeah. It's about the 4 aspects of it. So it's in your forehead, and there are 4 aspects, which are stamina, happiness.
Well, if we're going for like the Sims thing, it's like happiness, well-being, social interaction,
And how much you need to pee.
Yeah, bladder capacity.
It's like, wow, you need to pee a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you need to go. Imagine
It's
being in
like-
like a meeting at work, really important meeting with like some people, and they're like, you can go if you need to go.
But
That's-
as people level up, which is what we call aging, some of the bars go up, and you can invest in like which bar. It's like this year, I'm definitely going to have a longer bladder capacity, please.
I also think that's the only one where you want you want less in there than the other. Like you trade, you'll be like, okay, I'll pay you some happiness. Fine, I'll get some happiness from you in exchange for holding more wee.
Yeah.
Like I will have a fuller bladder for the day in exchange for being a bit happier, please.
Oh, that's cool. We can weave that into the exciting chase sequence at the end.
Yeah,
you
When
were
the
like,
heroes
oh, no.
are running. One of them is desperately like running out of stamina, but the other one's got plenty of piss. And so, quick transfer.
I like the way Jen did it that way round, whereas I was imagining it the other way round.
Oh,
like
okay.
I want to be holding, like I want less piss, but less happy. Like I want less happiness for better capacity.
Oh, okay,
More
okay.
piss, more
okay.
piss, less happiness.
I kind of figured the people with the biggest bladders might go around being like, look, I can take on the piss. And in exchange, you give me... I don't know. I haven't thought it
Some
through.
happiness. I
But
see what you
everyone should be
mean.
holding a full bladder at all times, and that's all I care about.
That's the movie.
I just want
That's
the movie to
folks.
be people like awkwardly sitting there trying to like have an eye-to-eye contact, and like they're about to kiss, and then one's like, God, I'm sorry, I've got to go.
Really gotta go. Like
I really gotta go. Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely enough for an intro. It's 5 minutes. This is going to be a nightmare. Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that has never woken up with more time on its hands than hours in the day. I'm Paul Salas, and you join us here in the first ever head-to-head app. Play the theme, Johnny. One guest is here to praise, the other to raise with a Z. And in between is your friendly, impartial adjudicator, me. I've already introduced myself. Pay attention. So, let's meet that first head. On the defense, we have...
Me. My name's Jen Blundell, and I do I start my defence now, Your Honour? I'm just gonna say, you know what? Take your time.
Oh,
you
you see,
suck.
this is how it's gonna be. So if you're into that sort of thing, you stick around.
If not, leave now.
Yeah,
This is
gonna
your
be a lot of
warning.
that. Please. And for the prosecution,
I'm Katy. You may have seen me on previous episodes. Seen me? No, you haven't seen me. You don't know what I look like.
You may
If
have seen me.
If
You've
you want to
definitely
imagine
heard
it,
me.
it's kind of like, I don't know, like ethereal, long blonde hair, like really skinny. Kind of like a Barbie. No, not like that at all. I guess the prosecution. I don't know. You didn't tell me this.
I don't
know
what
I'm
this
kidding.
analogy is.
But Paul made me watch Ant-Man yesterday, so I'm pretty pissed.
That's true. I
still.
literally made
Yeah.
it. You've got a lot of justice to get, as we'll come to later on. Because something occurred to me.
The third Ant-Man, not the first one.
third
I have a
one.
lot of love for the first one.
Yeah.
Qua ant u man ear.
What?
The title, remember?
Oh, yes. That was the best
You'll hear
part
more
of
about
it,
this in Jen and the Film Critic. Guest starring Katy Maydon, who's furious.
Just me furious for 3 minutes. And then
Just
I'm
like
gone.
a 3-minute voice note from WhatsApp of you
Yeah.
just screaming. What is this film?
Why did you make me say this?
They are both here, not to destroy me, but to celebrate being 25, and not for the first time, with the 2011 sci-fi film In Time.
We're genetically engineered to stop aging at 25. The trouble is, we live only one more year. Unless we can get more time. Time is now the currency. We earn it and spend it. The rich can live forever. And the rest of us? I just want to wake up with more time on my hand than hours in the day.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
It's the countdown.
So, oh my god, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
And then Olivia Wilde dies at the end.
Yeah. Wouldn't that change the film? Every time anyone dies, they just went
The rest thing makes that noise. And at the final moment where Amanda Seyfried doesn't die, spoilers, it's
Oh.
and then just a big kissy sound effect.
Oh, good. I like that. Thanks, sweetheart. And a little winky face appears. Thanks for the time. This is a film by Andrew Niccol, a New Zealandish filmmaker who's fairly peripheral in spite of some big movies under his belt. He started as an ad man in London, but moved to LA so he could make movies longer than 60 seconds, as he puts it. And he meets, quote, high-powered producer, end quote, Scott Rudin, who liked his script for The Truman Show, whatever that came out as, but didn't like it enough to trust a first-time director with it. Quote, especially after Jim Carrey became involved. Like, we can't trust this man with this.
Have you seen Man on the Moon? That shit is wild.
This national treasure, and then you pan over and it's a picture of him talking with his butt. End quote. Yeah, that whole thing was the quote. I didn't end it. You need to listen. You need to pay attention.
Always wait for the closing quotation marks. It'll catch you out.
Oh, it will in the end. And that's when you all run out of time. And The Truman Show, because he goes off to make his own thing. And he manages to get his own thing out before The Truman Show because he writes and directs Gattaca with absolute nobodies compared to Jim Carrey, Ethan Hawke, Jude Law, and Uma Thurman.
Fucking love Gattaca.
Gattaca's very, very good.
Haven't seen it.
Oh my god, Jen.
Oh.
Get off
I know.
This podcast.
Look, it's
The soundtrack by Michael Nyman is one of my favorites.
It's so good.
Just
It's really
Just
good.
stick it on the list. It's a very long
Stick it
list.
on the list. It's very good. It's about a future where all people are genetically engineered, so people who aren't genetically engineered are massively discriminated
Oh, that
against.
sounds
And so-
fun.
It's really good.
yeah, and so Ethan Hawke decides he's going to fake
I
it
do
by
like Ethan
stealing a
Hawke.
whole bunch of Jude Law's like DNA and skin and stuff.
That sounds great.
yeah.
Okay.
So-
Wait, can we
but
pause?
ever s-
How long is this film?
Yeah, we'll just sit here and keep recording, obviously.
yeah.
And just play out in real time as you can vaguely hear Gattaca in the back.
Yeah, you two just talk about this film and oh, this is
So-
good.
Since then, he's made some lesser known but equally star-studded films like Simone with Al Pacino, Lord of War with Nicolas Cage, The Host, that YA adaptation
Yep.
thing. I don't know
Stephanie
if anyone big
Meyer
was in
is
that.
the author.
Oh, yeah, she
Twilight
wrote that.
lady.
I don't know if it had any big stars, but he had Good Kill with Ethan Hawke again, and Anon, which I can't remember anything about. He marries the director Rachel Roberts, who is the face of Biofirm Skincare, which is what I want to be. Such a glamorous sounding firm that.
It just makes
She
me
was-
think immediately of Catwoman. Just anyone who's the face
Oh,
of
yeah. Yeah.
a skincare brand, and I'm like, Sharon
She's
Stone.
evil, Sharon
She's
Stone,
made
yeah.
evil, and the skin is stone. So tough that you can punch her in the face and she won't feel it. Just king cream is that good?
That's what I look for in a skin cream.
Can it withstand a punch?
I just imagine you got a QVC. It not only makes your skin feel fantastic, but then she gets a hammer and just smashes her co-host. Oh wait, that was the test brand.
Ah. Oh well, no one's watching anyway.
Yeah, it's 2023. The wife, the biofilm chick, was the lead in Simone with a 1 in it, so one known. Wait, why didn't you just call it Sim and then the number 1?
Sim 1. Otherwise it'd be
Sim 1.
Sim 1.
Wait, what is...
I guess so.
Like,
it's not as elegant as
The
Mithrigan.
first sim you get on Sims 1. You have to play them for a little bit before they would trust you with making your own sim.
Sim 1 was about, I'm earnestly calling it that now. That movie was about Al Pacino creates an AI chick because he's sick of working with actors, and then he falls in love with the AI chick he's created.
I've seen this.
You've seen it, yes.
I think I've seen this when I was 12.
Yep, that's about when it was.
Yeah, 2002. I think I rented it from Blockbuster, so...
Oh, that's amazing. It was great,
Wait.
but like...
Yeah, it's a PG. I've seen this.
Yeah, you've seen it. They kept her involvement to a minimum. They kept it secret because they wanted to create the illusion that she might actually be computer generated.
Wow.
That's quite a compliment, really. Is we want to create the idea that you couldn't possibly exist
Because you're just too beautiful.
You're
Oh,
so
that's
fucking hot.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I imagine him being like, you're just, so perfect that only a computer could create you. Oh.
Yeah.
And then he married her. It's the opposite of what they're doing with Zoe Saldana, who actually doesn't exist, but they're pretending she does. The director's wife, Rachel Roberts, also appeared in the music video for Rihanna's "Bitch Better Have My Money," which is
I actually don't
a charming
know that
folk
one.
song.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
It had a music video. And she's in this as the lady in the fur coat that our heroes rob in the car.
Ah, yes.
Do you remember her? Do you remember thinking she can't possibly be real?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't steal from me.
You can't steal from me.
You cannot steal from me. Full stop.
I am real wife. So the film stars Justin Timberlake. The same year he appeared in previous Jen recommended film that for some reason had Katy appear in the episode Bad Teacher.
Oh, he was in that. Oh, I blanked out my memory.
So you have a lot of revenge to get because now Jen has made you
That's
watch
true,
In
turns
Time
out.
and Bad Teacher.
And I've seen
and
this
I've
film
made you watch
before,
Contumia.
so I now had to
Maybe.
watch In Time twice.
The first time wasn't Jen's fault, was it?
That was my own fault.
Okay.
What is this fault word getting thrown around?
I know, right? It's outrageous. The film co-stars Amanda Seyfried just after her memorable turn in Ellen recommended film Jennifer's Body, and Jennifer is Jen's name. So
Yeah, circle,
I
full
quite like
circle.
Jennifer Body, so Jennifer's Body, Jen's Body. Hey.
Yay.
Oh my God. Whoa! Come on,
Hey.
guys. Look, I know we greatly differ on this movie, but we can all get behind.
Jen's body. Yeah.
The film was also at various times titled Now and I'm Mortal.
Yeah, I
but they
saw
didn't
that.
use either of those for obvious
mistakes.
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad names.
Bad, terrible names.
Really bad names. Amazing cinematography. Amazingly, the cinematography is by Roger Deakins.
Oh, I got excited for a second.
Amazingly, it's by him. His first film is shot entirely on digital, made just between True Grit and Skyfall.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you can tell. Look at those shiny Seyfried eyes.
Glossy.
But the premise isn't entirely glossy because it does have several similarities with a number of other works, including Grumpy Old Man, Harlan Ellison's short story, Repent, Harlequin, said the TikTok man.
Yes.
Better title.
Yeah.
But that's the title.
That's the title,
the
Repent,
whole
Harlequin, said the TikTok man.
Okay, then. And it's not like a man on TikTok.
No, it's not, unfortunately. That's the sequel written 60 years later by Harlan Ellison's Grumpy Robot. He said, enough so that grumpy old man Harlan Ellison tried to sue Nichols. First, he wanted the movie not to be released. Then he wanted a credit. And then they showed it to him and he dropped the case.
Case closed
You know
on
what?
my part, I think.
I'm good. We can still put your name on it if you
No,
like.
no, actually
yeah,
don't.
no.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's fine. We're good. We're cool. He backs away.
Can we at least call it Repent, Harlequin, said the TikTok man?
The case flips around in court.
Oh god, the film was received by critics like 4 minutes for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Very old but incredibly charming British film critic Derek Malcolm, who I love when you see him in an interview. He's so old. He's so old, guys. Writing for the London Evening Standard, a dire fascist rag, said, Timberlake is fine, but not as good as he was in The Social Network, because he doesn't get the chances. It's a pity, but this sort of thing needs a brighter director. Ooh. That was... I'd never get over that.
Yeah. Shame.
He's so old as well. So much authority behind it.
I think Justin Timberlake is good. I think he's fine.
He's good.
Do you know what I mean? He's at home with his money and his hot wife, I'm fine.
Yeah, I think... Oh, no, yeah, not Justin Timberlake. I meant the guy, the director. Who
poor
was
New Zealand director.
I think
yeah,
he's
poor New Zealand director.
Probably.
His wife is an artificial construct, Katie.
I'd be okay with
not
that.
fine.
Yeah. He's not listening to humans and their reviews at this point.
Oh god. Public, meanwhile, clearly came from time. A word in a lyric.
Yeah.
A lyric.
Oh, this is a musical. This film's a musical.
Oh yeah.
Did we not tell you guys that?
I'm running out of time.
Running out of time. And then they make jokes about
running out of time.
What time signature the music's in for a while.
Shit.
It's meta.
Oh, it keeps changing every line. It's a nightmare.
It's
Just
hideous.
Just like Handel's Messiah. It's just a mess. That's a funny joke if anyone knows Handel's Messiah.
That's a great joke for those people.
Other people will be laughing.
Aaron Lucifer M at Google said, not a bad movie to watch on a lazy afternoon, just watched by chance. Premise is good, and represented the dystopian future which I hope we are not heading. Given the COVID outbreak, the Vax passport is actually a pretext for introduction of cashless society, monitored by electronic chip in the hand. 4 stars.
Calm down, jeez.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Chill, bud. Chill.
We're all okay.
I don't think we're all about to be genetically engineered to only have...
Yet.
Yeah. Yet.
But isn't COVID just the start, Jen?
No.
Wake up, sheeple.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Might be. It could be. Anything could be the start of something.
I guess it was the start of me trying to bake banana bread.
Yeah.
And that's how it...
Yeah, exactly. And where's that going to go?
That died of death.
To a dynasty. A banana bread dynasty further down the line.
Yeah.
But don't worry, darlings, because Olivia Wilde is a 3-man. She was in this, Don't Worry, Darling. And Jen, do you know the other thing?
Yes.
Olivia Wilde, really hot, super crazy hot. Just so hot. Do you remember? Just really hot. I don't know why I'm doing this thing, but really hot.
Really?
Just hot.
Hot. In the face.
Yeah, hot.
Or on fire hot.
Yeah.
No, you're going to have to give me another clue.
You didn't appear on the episode, but you and David watched the movie for some reason.
Oh, what's it called? Love after life, loving life, live, laugh, love.
I think I broke Jen.
Love, life, ever, laughter. I don't know. I don't. You know the one with Oscar Isaac?
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, that terrible film.
Terrible film.
I hated.
Yeah. Life Itself.
Life Itself. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rubbish.
David's favourite film.
Yeah.
Oh, free to a man, free in the bush, free, yo. Films are shit, mate.
In Time has 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, 53% on Metacritic, 77% on Google, God help us, but made a lot of money. It made money.
You made money.
So, Jen and Katie, you Minute Men.
There's a lot you can do with a day.
What's one thing about In Time that made you want to do mass murder in the ghetto?
Wait, what? Hang on a second.
This bit may have evolved since you were last here.
I think maybe you need to cut that line out. It was a bit Holocausty for my liking.
It's in the movie, Katie.
I know, but I just...
It's your favourite movie.
I asked Paul to say it, so just so I could say.
I'm not sure about it.
I'm going to cut to Cillian Murphy saying that exact line. Timberlake, I think, says it to Cillian Murphy, so it's double legitimate.
Yeah.
There's mass murder in the ghetto every day.
I think this film is great, and you can't convince me otherwise. Katie?
Oh, shit. Katie?
I thought I was supposed to be saying something I liked about it.
Yeah.
I don't
you can
know.
retort.
Okay. No, I'm not saying this film's terrible. It's definitely not the third Ant-Man, which made me want to...
Look, there's going to be a lot of shade coming at Ant-Man today.
Look,
I deserve it.
I got 6 hours sleep the night before, woke up hungover, went and saw Ant-Man 3 and decided that Paul was no longer my best friend. So,
yes!
Slip it down the league table, guys.
Everybody's getting bumped up one.
What position am I in now, Katie?
At least 0 above 1.
See? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The zero friend.
The 0 because you're unreal to me. See, you get it?
Jen was the AI construct.
Yeah.
Okay. This wasn't a terrible film, but there are things about it that make me want to vomit. Like mainly the dialogue, the writing. And I will come back to that. But that is my biggest sticking point, is the writing, unfortunately.
It's your biggest sticking point of this film.
Yeah.
And I feel like, let's first of all do a little rundown about what happens in this here intern.
Oh, God.
And we start with Timberlake just breaking down the premise for us really neatly in a little intro. And I'd like for you to recreate that for us now.
I mean, like, he does narration for the first 10 minutes, and then it's never spoken about again.
The narration.
Keeps a
Cillian Murphy never comes in
He
and it's
never
like...
does narration again for the rest of
Cillian Murphy doesn't come in and it's like, what the fuck was up with all that speaking?
Yeah.
Jen, what is the premise of this here film?
The premise is that everyone ages as normal until the age of 25, at which point everyone's been genetically modified for some reason, for reasons. It's sci-fi dystopian story.
Yeah.
And at the age of 25, you have a clock on your arm that starts ticking down for 1 year. And then money, it's a metaphor, guys. I don't know if you noticed. It's a metaphor for money.
Wait, what?
What?
Hang on, what?
God.
Now it makes sense.
Shit, I've misjudged this.
Now it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Shit.
So now people have to, instead of earning money, you earn time, which is both money and also literally the time of your life that remains. And so everyone's young and 25 and beautiful, which clearly made casting this film great. Because
All
there's like
these
2
people
children.
are like varying
It's
ages.
Logan's run.
Like Cillian Murphy is not the same age as Amanda Seyfried. Like, come on.
No, but they're all meant to be look 25.
And I think Cillian manages it very well.
Yeah.
How do we feel, incidentally, about the idea of being 25 forever?
I
in
was
that
a
body,
mess
I'd take
at
that. Yeah.
25. Oh, the body.
But mentally,
yes, not the
you'd
mind.
still grow. I guess your brain would stop developing in a I guess you get a couple more years of development on your brain, but your body, my body staying the same as 25. Yeah, I'd take that.
I don't know. I was like a C at 25. Now I'm an E, so I'm not sure about that.
My knee made a crunchy noise as I walked up the stairs to my apartment today that I did not appreciate. So, like, I literally had to pause and be like, "Oh, that's me. Oh no,
That's my reality." Shit.
So I would take my 25-year-old knees again, if nothing else.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so that's your premise.
Yeah.
And we've got Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, we do.
Who's living with his Olivia Wilde mum. And he's very fond of her. That's right. He's a mother lover. Not the best song to start this bit with. I'm going to be referencing his songs in the plot summary. And that was his collab with The Lonely Island, which is a little obscure. It's very funny. But yeah, it would have been better if I could have worked Sexy back in there somehow.
Yeah, or the McDonald's theme tune.
That's not him.
Yeah, I'm
loving
it. That's him.
That's Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake.
No, it's not.
It is. Look at the fuck up if you don't believe me. That's Justin Timberlake.
That's the best
Who
thing
else
I've
could
heard all
possibly
week.
have done that?
We need you to do. Did he just record it, or did he come up with the slogan?
No, I think there was like a whole song. I think. Hang on.
What have we got? Jen, give me your best alternate take on I'm loving it.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We could introduce that as the English one. Katie?
Oh, if it was English, it would be like, I'm loving it.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it is a song written by American singer-songwriter Justin Timberlake. The song, originally written as a jingle for American fast food chain the McDonald's, was produced by the Neptunes and is credited as being written by Pharrell Williams, among others.
What?
It was released as a single on the 20th of November 2003. It became a chart hit in European countries, reaching top 20 in Greece, Ireland, and the Netherlands. There you go.
What the
and it's
fuck?
3 minutes 42 seconds long, so I don't know how.
It's just over and over again. I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Two throw up because you ate too much McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you're not loving it.
No,
I'm
no.
loving it. But I'll tell you who else is loving it, by which I mean Life is these two. Because it's going to be her birthday again.
Olivia Wilde.
And
Olivia
Wilde's. And they're living quite close to the edge. So it's like, hey, I brought you some champagne. We're going to die in 3 days. How are you so normalized? Oh, my God.
Metaphor,
Oh, my
Paul.
God.
Metaphor.
You'd have to be really rough off to be literally 3 days pay away from death at any given moment. But I guess that is reality in this Tory Britain. Wake up, sheeple. Anti-vax. Yes, that's right. I'm anti-vax and anti-Tory. Oh, God. My next note pertains to the gangsters. So if anyone has anything to say about his pre-adventure life.
Oh, wait,
no,
what?
although...
Oh, so you're going to skip out Johnny Galecki completely?
Who's Johnny Galecki?
Like the
the friend. Yes. Explain the
yeah.
friend, because I have nothing to say about friend apart from his death later.
I mean, literally, he has this one friend who's played by Johnny Galecki from The Big Bang Theory. And the one thing I like about his friend in it is that Johnny Galecki gets to use his own real hair. Whereas he has this terrible hairstyle for the whole of The Big Bang Theory. And then you see him in this and you're like, oh, he's actually kind of hot. Oh, it's the hair. It's the hair.
Yeah. Even though he's playing like a grubby, miserable, drunk guy.
Yeah.
I still saw him in this and was like, oh, I like him a lot more than usual. Why?
Than usual. This is not playing Leonard.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. So the two men end up in a bar. And there's a guy flashing around his time.
Yeah. Just after work.
Just after work.
So we get a little scene. They go to work. They're working in factories, drudgery sort of, work. And they go and like...
the type, listeners.
Yeah, you're all doing
classes.
it. And they're like getting their pay at the end of the day and they're getting less than usual because they're quotas.
Behind on quotas.
Behind on quotas.
When
and
did that
prices
happen?
are all... Yeah. Prices are always going up. Quotas are always going up. Cost of living. People are getting squeezed for literal time.
Imagine this sci-fi world. So,
Don't need to.
So, they're in a bar. And unfortunately, some gangsters notice a guy who's flashing around his time. It's Alex Rider, the guy who played Alex Rider in the Stormbreaker.
Yeah, Alex Pettifer.
There we go. He comes in with his gang, the Minutemen. Oh, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually what they're called?
They're called the Minutemen.
Yeah,
it's
their
cool
Minutemen.
gang name.
A juice
It
company.
is. No, it's
That's
like
Minute Maid.
Oh, Minute Maid. That's it.
Minutemen is a thing from history that I don't know, but we need an American on to explain that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not prepared to reach out to one. They frighten me. So they rob a guy of his time, or they're going to. But luckily, there's a Jimbalake. There's a Jimbalake around. So yeah, bye, gangsters.
Bye 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 is not Justin Timberlake. Bye 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 is NSYNC. Oh wait, he's in NSYNC. Okay.
He's in NSYNC.
You can have that, but
There's going to be at least 3 more NSYNCs
Okay,
coming up,
fine.
so I'm going to need you to get off
Fine.
my back. The guy, who is a kind of Henry Cavill style dude, escapes with Timberlake and lays on the analogy a bit thicker.
He
and
is
gives him
Henry
all of
Cavill,
his
right?
time.
Yeah,
He does look just like
isn't
him,
Henry
you're
Cavill,
right.
obviously,
He's
but
not.
he looks
He's
just
very
like
Henry Cavill.
I was like, holy shit.
I know.
Yeah.
I did double take and think, is it?
Yeah, you could his upper lip looked fake. It was totally Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
But oh no, Wildman comes afoul of some villainous bus drivers. So even though Timberlake's really rich, they end up in a situation where they have to try and rush towards each other, and this crazy sci-fi future doesn't have any phones in it. So
see, this
But
is
how-
where
yeah.
okay. So you're in this sci-fi future where people are genetically modified to be 25, where where time is money. So when you run out of time, you literally die.
yeah.
But you can't send someone remotely your time. Like honestly, I could right now send
No
either
Wi-Fi.
of you
There's no
money.
Wi-Fi in this world. There's just no
There's no
internet in
Wi-Fi.
this world.
Nobody can afford a contract.
Just this makes no sense to me at all.
It'll be 6.
Did you
it'll
not
be 6
notice
minutes
all the
a month.
phones were landline phones?
Yeah, they're all like phone box.
Well,
phones.
it is retro
Yeah.
future. They
Yeah.
do that with the cars as well. So yeah, he
Yeah.
cries her a river because she's dead and gone.
God.
But oh boysy, Cillian Murphy's here in order to investigate the death of that Henry Cavill-looking guy, and
Yeah. He's a
wearing a
cop.
leather jacket.
Yeah, he
so-
is. He's wearing long black. Long black. We're doing a sci-fi movie leather jacket.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're doing
But
the
also,
Matrix.
it's
Yeah.
2011 Cillian Murphy, so I think we know who's bringing sexy back.
I mean, Cillian Murphy, whatever. He can any day of the week. he can just have me. That's fine. I'm fine.
You can have all of my time.
Yeah, he can have
Open.
He could time me out.
You would time
any day of
out.
the
So
week.
I'm just so happy.
I got 6 hours on here. What do you think?
I only need
Oh, God.
6 minutes.
Yeah. Good enough.
So, yeah, he's going to investigate. Timberlake spends a lot of his time and time going to New Greenwich. The glamour. The glamour that invokes for any Londoner. New Greenwich.
Like Peckham, wasn't it?
Which, is an analogy, I think, for how much trains to central London are. I'm saving up for a ticket to Canary Wharf where I'll make me fortune selling children. They sell children at Canary Wharf. How's the tone of the episode going?
Slowly going. Depending on how you cut this, it's either going to be like really bleak or really funny.
Yeah.
Why is he going to New Greenwich, though?
He's going because his mum is dead and he wants to take down the system. He wants to fuck him up from the inside. He's angry and he's angry and he's grieving and he's been given 100 years by Henry Cavill, who's dead, who says he wanted to time out because he'd lived for he was over 100. You couldn't tell because he was fit still. And he was like, you know what, man? Sometimes too much. Something about having so much time means your time is worthless. Blah 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 blah.
Like
Take my
the
time. I'm
Good
gonna go.
Beauvoir.
Yeah. I'm gonna go die on a bridge.
I went some into Beauvoir.
Yeah.
You went Good Life, but they're both saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and he's like, he has no plan. He's like, I'm just gonna buy a suit. I'm just gonna buy a suit, and then I'm gonna go and take down the system with no plan.
Yeah.
He's wearing a suit and tie featuring Jay-Z. Apparently one of his songs.
Okay, fine.
Anyway.
Okay, Paul.
He go. Look, I can't help it that Justin Timberlake had way fewer hits than I remember. Okay.
Okay.
He gets there. He falls in love with the first woman who makes eye contact with him, who happens to be Amanda Seyfried, who, seemingly starts stalking him because she's in a lot of places that he is for a while. And he goes to a gambling house where he meets Pete Campbell from Mad Men.
A casino. It's called a casino.
A gambling house.
Yeah. I think a gambling house is
what I
like
call
a
it.
gambling den. I think that one's seedy. A casino is classy, Paul.
It's come on now. You're fooling yourself here. It's all gambling dens to this crack addict. So he goes and meets Pete Campbell, who I don't care what Nell says. I think he's pretty in a haunted kind of way. She said he was ugly on the 19th of May 2016, and I won't stand for it.
But also, like,
this I promise you.
25 still.
Oh,
yeah.
He's another person that does
you know.
not look 25.
You can be 25 and have had a hell of a life.
I think either he's 14 or he's 50.
That's
I can't
exactly-
work out
yeah,
which one.
He's got a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
boy's face on an old man's head.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah, true.
And that's what I'm into, apparently. So suck it now.
Of course, some think what we have is unfair. The time difference between zones. I've heard that, but isn't this just the next logical step in our evolution? And hasn't evolution always been unfair? It's always been survival of the fittest. This is merely Darwinian capitalism.
Yeah.
He lays out some of the movie's themes whilst they gamble, and he bets all of his time. But he wins. But
Justin
Timberlake wins.
Yeah, he wins a lot.
But he's
of
pretty
money.
nonchalant about picking up those winnings. He's kind of like, anyway, let me just get him over here. Congratulations, sir. Your winnings will be sent to you in 6 to 8 weeks, sir.
Sir. No, so he gets like 1,000 more years.
Oh yeah, he's got like 1,000 years.
Yeah, at this point, he's. It turns out Justin Timberlake just happens to be great at gambling, and also we're already hearing about his dad being some like hot shot.
Oh, revolutionary.
It turns out later, but we just know that this guy's JT can do it all.
Yeah, he can. And speaking of which, he has a dance with Amanda Seyfried to find out if they are simpatico. And,
Oh my god.
Simpatico, erotico, erotico.
Oh, Christ. Cillian Murphy hilariously stomps into a scene in a long shot whilst he visibly struggles against his coat. It's amazing. I love it. They've got a lead on when Timberlake is. Let's go! So swish.
Oh, okay. I'm done. I'm tapping out, guys. I'm going. Can't handle it.
Timberlake is being a Charlize Theron style free spirit though on the beach, just running about, jumping in the sea. Cue the BNL. Last week, Charlize Theron had to jump about in the sea, and they played a BNL song while she was doing it, and I refer to it as some kind of folk song.
Which song? I need to know.
I can't go. You need to listen to the episode.
Oh God! Like no, not oh God! Listen to the episode.
Google.
No. You mean multi-platinum award-winning BNL? Jen might not know this, but Bare Naked Ladies are my favourite band of all time.
Oh,
yeah,
I did not know that.
So,
how long has it been since you last listened to them, Katie?
Today, I listened to them today.
Oh, I was setting you up for the one song that I know of them.
Which is?
Been 1 week. Is that them?
Oh, 1 week.
Ah.
Yeah, that's the only
1
song
week.
Everyone knows by them. That and the Big Bang
yeah.
Theory theme tune. So we're coming back to Johnny Galecki.
Oh, there we go. It was Off the Hook and Sweet November, so there, which I referred to as some weird folk song.
Well, I really appreciate that. There was no BNL in this movie. Otherwise, that would be on my list of good things.
That would be the one good thing. So, yes, Murphy storms in again, this time to the gambling den. Swish, 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 swish. And he comes in and he interrogates Timberlake. And he tells him the truth. So they just decide to take all of his time.
That's not the gambling den. No, they're at the party at this point.
Oh,
Amanda Seyfried's dad's party.
It is, because Pete Campbell says, I believe you two have met. You were there.
You literally introduced her.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, this is my daughter. This is her name. It's not like, I believe
Did
you
I?
have met. No, you introduced them.
And we
Yesterday.
learn that. And we, by this point, have learned that Amanda Seyfried is like, oh, this is stifling.
I'm so stifled by
I've
my
got
wealth.
so much life, but you don't get to live because you're just so afraid of accidentally dying.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, aren't we? Isn't everyone?
Yes, but me more so. I have so much to lose. Your lives are terrible.
Yeah, I'm just so rich with time that I could live forever, and then it's so stifling. I'm like, how about you start getting a better haircut? Because the hair in this is absolutely awful.
Bitch.
It's so bad.
Brutal.
This is brutal stuff. She's coming from Amanda Seyfried.
And you know I love her. The fiery passion. Just not that hair.
I'm trying to remember a line of
I've
hers
seen Big
from,
Love, dude. This is how much I love her.
Oh my God. I'm trying to remember a line of hers from Mean Girls, but I just mainly remember her squeezing her own boob.
If you're from Africa, then why are you white?
Oh my God. You can't just ask someone why they're white.
Ask people why they're white, Karen.
That's a great line. Yeah, so he gets arrested and he's going to get taken to jail. And it's all happening in front of Seyfried and her Campbell dad. It's tearing up my heart.
But turns out he does jujitsu or something. I don't know.
He does a jujitsu. He's just very good at everything.
He's
so
very
he
good.
doesn't fight.
Honestly, I looked away for like 10 seconds and looked back and he was out of that situation. And I was like, how did he get out of that Cillian Murphy situation?
It's because no security guards in this world will do anything risky because they're so afraid of dying because everyone's
God, they're
afraid
wealthy
of dying.
too. No. And yeah, he kidnaps Seyfried all in front of her Campbell dad. And he's really good at knocking people out with one punch. So he does that a lot. And he drives them out of New Greenwich.
In his cool sports car.
In his cool sports car, which he then painlessly totals and rolls several times.
Yeah. They make it out.
Killing them both. They make it out, but some villains came along and stole all of her time. The Minutemen.
Yeah.
They came and stole all of her time, very hilariously and neatly putting her into a terrible situation she can't get out of.
Yeah.
Because it was literally like, scene, I don't want to help you. I've got all the time in the world. That happens. They leave. And it's like, where did my time go? It's like, just hilarious how quickly that happens and how little impact it has on the rest of the story. This is a terrible movie
with a bad script.
This film is already close to 2 hours long. They had to speed things up at points, okay? Give them credit for not dragging that out.
He goes to find his old friend from Big Bang Theory, only to find out that he immediately drunk himself to death because he gave him some years. He looked longingly at a liquor store, and the next we see, which is like, what, a day later, he's like, he drank himself to death. So he just did that straight away.
I'm wondering, I don't know if this is true at all, if Johnny Galecki was supposed to be in that scene, but there was like scheduling conflicts, so they just wrote him out. Like, it just seems weird because there's no flashback. It's just his wife telling him.
Yeah, I think it's on purpose. That ties into the whole like analogy of money kind of thing. So,
but I would have liked a flashback of Johnny Galecki drinking himself to death.
That's all I'm floating out there, guys.
And then we could have BNL. Like a slow version of the Big Bang Theory. Like,
it's been 1 week since he drank himself to death.
Oh, and there's also one called A Matter of Time. So that could have been the theme.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
The theme to this.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. So the police drive by and she inexplicably doesn't call out to them. She's already sympathetic with his weird kidnappy cause. I definitely would. He's cute, but I'm not going to die for this fool. Say something. You guys don't know any of his hits. Nobody knows any of his hits.
I know like a couple, but either you've already said them or they're too
I
obvious.
hadn't heard of any
Start
of them.
singing them.
Oh, the thing is, I didn't recognize any of them. I just took the ones I
Well,
could
then
fit
why would we
into.
recognize them?
You really think that we are more clued up on pop music than actually?
Yes!
Yeah,
Than me! You both once
probably.
made a whole bunch of fun of me because I couldn't name a Beyonce song.
oh yeah.
Oh, but come
I
on.
remember
Want
that.
any one
One
Beyonce song?
Well, that
We're
was a long
not
time
talking
ago.
about
Anyway.
obscure JT hits here.
Obscure JT hits such as Not Sexy Back or the other
Well,
one.
I'm loving it. The McDonald's theme tune.
I would argue that's more obscure than you
Cry
think.
Me a River
So-
is like the number one JT song,
Yeah.
right?
I think I've
You've already
done that
done
one.
Cry Me.
You have to.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, shit, there's like 6 more. So, the plan is to ransom her back to her dad and give the money to the poor, like in that old story. You know, hackers. He's going to be a Matthew Lillard style guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, they go back to his old home because they're never going to look for him there.
Nobody pays by the day, so they'll never know. That's
Yeah,
their
because
paper
he's
trail.
he's like, yeah, don't worry about it because like it's all good.
It's
Like,
all. It's
don't-
very much.
We haven't
He
got my
said-
name on the lease or anything. It's not like you
Yeah.
know.
Ah, Justin Timberlake said it was all good. Therefore,
Mm.
you can. That means you can stop worrying about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he explains how his father used to win this really weird game of like time wrestling that makes no sense to me because it looks like just arm wrestling.
It is just arm wrestling.
It's literally
It
arm
is, but then
wrestling.
what's the business then with the trick is when he starts looking at your clock, he'll stop looking at his, and it's like his arm will get weaker as a result.
I think it's you just catch them off guard so you can flip them over and then they can't get them. They can't get themselves back
It
in
is.
Yeah,
time.
you know,
I
like
don't know.
when you
Look.
Yeah.
thumb wrestle and you just stay up for ages like this, waiting patiently. The other person gets frustrated, and then you strike.
See, Katie gets it. Katie gets
Oh my
it.
god, Katie gets Thumb Wars, and that's
It's because I have
Katie
really
gets
long
cool music.
fingernails,
Success.
and I just
oh shit.
Stab.
Ah. But the ransom doesn't work, so he lets her go.
Yeah.
After a smooch, love never felt so good. And Cillian Murphy gets the drop on Timbers, but Safely Police shoots him a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
Cillian
Yeah.
Murphy,
Yeah.
not JT.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy has now been shot a bunch of times, but Timberlake comes over and gives him just a little more time. I know that's not Timberlake, but I thought about that song so many times during this, I can't help it. Oh god, they do a big heist because now they're going to be like Robin Hood style figures. So
Slash Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
slash Bonnie and Clyde, and Seyfried says, I know how to get you all the time you need. And it's like, oh, okay, she's going to have some insider knowledge of the society and how the time works, so she can suggest. They just drive a van through a bank window.
Yeah.
They drive it in so hard that the vault pops open.
Oh, shit, says the vault.
And they steal a load of time, and then they also
Yeah.
invite everyone in the bank to take the time. So they just,
Yep.
we find out they're just going around busting banks open and being like, hey,
Yeah.
everyone's take the time.
And everyone only takes an amount that they need and then leaves plenty for everyone else. They're a very considerate mob.
Yeah.
So they must have thought it was a drive-through. Shut up, other cop.
I'm loving it. You know the
You're not Cillian
you know
Murphy.
back in the London riots, right? In
Yes.
Enfield, which is where I'm
Year after this. This inspired this.
yeah, the Enfield where I'm from, people were queuing to loot stores, and that's like the most Enfield thing I've ever heard of happening. That's what that reminds me of. They're like queuing to get this time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Down in Lewisham, they set fire to the shit factory. That's Lewisham. So
Oh, not all our lovely shit.
where we're supposed to get our shit from there?
Grr, grr, grr.
So
It's just not cricket.
the two of them are playing. The two of them are playing some sexy cards. He's about to rock her body, but
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy is going to chase him till the end of time, and so he chases him out a window. But that
He does.
eventually stops.
He
They get
just
away.
he just loves the job so much. He loves justice.
Oh, God.
he
loves
loves
it.
it. He's willing to risk his own knees.
Yeah, he's told us like a couple of times during this movie that he has been what are they called time
Time
keepers.
keepers.
I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
about
there
to say
you go.
time
Timekeepers.
cop, but that's a whole different thing.
That's a whole
That's
That's
better
a whole
thing.
better thing.
That's my one better
He's
thing.
he's been a timekeeper for 50 years, and he tells us this a couple of times during the
Yeah, he has. He's wedded
good.
to the
I like
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Love
that
it.
coat.
And that
So-
coat, that great coat.
That's why he's wedded to the
He's
job. I
welded
can't
to
give
the
this coat
coat.
up. Look, if I lose my job, they'll take this coat away.
Just can't have that.
I can't happen. Swish, 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 swish. So
You
They
did
narrowly
swish,
escape and
swish.
they-
You can't do swish, swish twice.
that's not a song of Justin Timberlake's.
Oh.
I'm just doing a swish noise.
Okay, it's definitely a song though.
Yeah.
What would Swish, 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 Swish by Justin Timberlake
No,
sound
but there's
like?
a song called
Swish, 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 swish,
Swish, swish.
swish,
I
swish,
got you.
swish, swish,
got you.
baby. I'm loving it. Swish,
Oh,
swish.
it's by Katy Perry. It's another pop song.
Similar.
Yeah.
Similar.
I mean, it's
Very
pop,
similar.
So if it would be played on Heart Radio, then I don't know it.
Oh, yeah. They narrowly escape and they rent an entire hotel.
They do.
I trust we can rely on your discretion. Sure you can. They were discovered immediately. But by Alex Rider, though.
By Alex
who dramatically jumps through a door.
He does.
I'm here.
Just as they're canoodling on the sofa, the chaise
Oh, having
longue.
a good old canoodle. Oh, that's a sexy place to have a canoodle. Canoodle.
Yeah,
It's right there on the Shaylong.
yeah.
So yeah, they have a time fight, the mechanics of which still aren't entirely clear to me, but he wins.
He does, he does.
By using his father's method.
Yes, he
Ah.
does. His father, who by this point he's learned was a cool vigilante as well.
Yeah, because we needed
Revolutionary.
that weird bit of background.
He does that, and it goes extremely well for him. He's also able to gun down all the other guys.
Yeah, he's
so-
just very cool.
he's just very cool as the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, damn! How are we going to stop a guy so cool?
Yeah.
So they decide they aren't making enough impact, so they do a hilarious maneuver involving her dad's bodyguards, which I love.
Yes, I love
One
that
too many.
too.
I was here the whole time. But Barry, we've been friends for years. I don't know. I don't know why you're helping me. So, they break into his vault where he has a single device with 1,000,000
Yes.
years on it, which feels unideal. It makes it very
laughed when
stealable.
they opened the door and it was
No.
just one singular device.
said-
why is it
he
kept
said
in
it
a
was-
vault and not just a safe behind an art painting? Like,
His first million.
It was his
the
first
thing.
million. It's like when your first £10 busking or whatever.
and you put it in a
You know, like your
frame.
first, and you put it in a frame. That was him. It's just his wanky richness. It was him.
I think
it was his
that
cockiness.
line though. But he says that was my first million. It won't be my last. So I feel like that means he's yet to make his second, and so
I think he just
that's
doesn't
just him.
think that even.
That's just him goading,
Yeah.
saying like, I'll
No,
bounce
but the
back.
thing is,
Essentially,
Justin Timberlake said to Amanda Seyfried, like, how much is your dad worth? And she said eons, which is more than
okay.
a
What?
million.
Is it though? Has
How
it been
long
eons
is-
since
How
our
would you
university days?
define an eon. A millennia is only 1,000 years.
Just imagine a way better line of how much time does your dad have? Yonks.
That's really good.
So Murphy hunts them down, but they get into a crowd and manage to give away the million to 6 people. So there's some very well off people there. Murphy runs after them, swish, 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 and he catches them, but then he bloody times out the idiot.
By accident, he's so wedded
Yeah.
to the job.
Yeah, because he
Oh,
forgot.
he kept his eyes off the clock.
He
forgot.
Chekhov's gun, where he says, "Oh, I don't need my whatever it is."
He's like, give me my per diem, and then he sees them and he's like,
Oh, don't worry.
no, never
about
mind.
It. It's
Let me
fine."
catch up with them now.
But-
And then
Yeah.
he's just so in the zone,
Yeah.
the time
Oh,
zone.
He likes to. He needs to be on the edge. You see? And
Yeah, he
needs to-
does.
needs to keep that
Every
focus.
time you end a sentence with a pause, I'm wondering if it's because you just said a JT song. Like for the rest of our friendship, I'm just gonna be like,
for the rest of our lives.
are you going to be giving my eulogy?
Yeah.
And Jen's going to be sitting there like, ugh, and you're going to be like, cry me a river.
It was.
Just pause. And she's going to be like,
It's been.
she would have loved that. She would have loved it.
I just wanted to tell you, I'm so proud to have been your friend all these years. Is that one? no. I'm trying to say, like, it's been really important to me in my life. Is that one?
Katie, I want to tell you, I'm actually really struggling right now. Is that one?
Guys, no, actually, I've had a pretty rough week.
Yeah.
I just need your support. Is that one? Yeah, it
That
was.
is
It
the
was
one.
one.
Need
It
your
was
support.
And it was, and he'll be like, yes, it was that time, actually, yes.
Yeah, you got me there. And you see it? It's worth me still thinking everything you say, because every so often it will be. Anyway, it looks like they have a tragic dilemma ahead of them to decide who gets to live and who dies. But oh yeah, Murphy's car has infinite time in it.
There's 2 days in it.
No, it's 2 days.
There's 2 days. There's 2
they
days.
have to, like...
2 days, because...
So it comes down to Mum v2, because this time he just runs a bit faster, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think also Amanda Seyfried is running a bit faster than Olivia Wilde was.
Oh, come on, Olivia Wilde.
Despite those very high heels.
Yes. I read a trivia thing, actually, saying that usually when she was running, she would have taken the high heels off and run in bare feet, and they would have, like, done something clever. But the ground was too, like, cobblestoney or gravelly, and she would have cut her feet up, so she had to run in the heels.
Shit.
Wow.
Robbie Collin mentioned it in his review. He said, time is so precious, what's she wearing high heels for? And it's like, don't blame the women, Robbie Collin. Blame the system.
Why aren't you wearing high heels?
Exactly. Those grounds were cobbled with no concern for bare naked ladies. So...
Can we do this whole thing again, except with bare naked lady songs? Because then I'll know.
That's true. We'll have a shot. Well, we'll do the bare naked lady movie next week. So immediately, the Million Years is ruining the entire world. They go on robbing places and messing with the system while she wears tiny dresses. And unbelievably, the movie doesn't end with a time pun. And it's that's the end. And Disney asked me if I want to watch iRobot next.
Oh my god, they asked me if I want to watch iRobot next.
Oh my god, who's going to turn off the TV? It's going to be me.
Who's going to go and watch The Perfect Match, the new Netflix reality show? It's me. That's what I did.
That's what that song was about.
Who's going to turn it off on their phone and immediately hop onto the recording? It's me.
So, with all that in mind, what did we make of it on this particular time through? Let's start with Jen. How did it?
I love this film.
Yay!
I've got a real fondness for like cheesy, low sci-fi, dystopian, slightly nonsense action, like just with cheesy bits and gimmicks, and everyone's just beautiful, and it's just got a premise and don't think too hard. It's a metaphor. I just love that kind of thing. I'm fond of this. I'm incredibly fond of Equilibrium. Just anything where you know that people are going to wear some long black trench coats.
It's so cool.
It's great. It's a great film. I enjoyed it. I just shame I rushed it because I planned my time poorly. I wish I'd had more time.
Oh, shit.
But I made it. I did make it to the recording in time. I was only 15 minutes late. So
that's true, and I spent that time watching Richard E. Grant introducing the BAFTAs, so it was time well spent, so to speak.
So that's what I thought. How about you, Katie?
I have seen this movie before, and I did not enjoy it last time. I enjoyed it more this time. I think maybe my expectations weren't too high this time, but I have to say it's the script that does it for me. So the one thing they do throughout the movie is do this thing where they'll say 1 or 2 lines and then have like a scene with no dialogue. So there'll be like, there was this bit, you know, the bit where they're naked in the pool.
Yes,
in the bit where she goes,
nature's pool.
She goes, I should go, and then he goes, why? And then there's a pause, and he goes, you should go, and then she goes. They could have made that bit of dialogue so much more full.
True.
And that happens throughout the movie, where there's like 1 or 2 lines of dialogue, and then the rest is action. 1 or 2 lines of dialogue, and the rest is action. Which means there's no character building. The other problem I have with this is that you go straight from like the ghetto area, which is kind of like District 13 in the Hunger Games.
Yes, it's District 13.
To the capital in the Hunger Games. And there is no shots of the rest of the quote-unquote time zones, whereas in something like the Hunger Games, which obviously is the highest level like of amazing dystopia, obviously I'm comparing it to something that is the budget is very good. Like intense, but you get short shots of all the rest of the districts, and I would have loved to have seen what life is like, even if it was like as he drives through the time zones, you get a shot of like what it was like the middle classes, because all you get is like the lowest class and the highest class. And you don't get any of the rest of the in-between.
No middle class. But they were all squeezed out of existence.
Yeah, for the purposes of the movie, that offers a fairly good sort of, you know, duality going on. But it does lend to the overall problem.
Yeah,
there's no world building, but it does lend itself to the oversimplification of the whole thing.
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. That's the thing. The
Britain's
metaphor is
cost of
too
living.
direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too direct, the metaphor, the time and the money. And the fact, I mean, so many of my quickfires are just that they've swapped out the word money for time.
Yeah, so many
or
Yeah.
done
times.
some sort of pun.
Yeah.
Or done some
They-
sort of pun on time.
They made before they sat and wrote this, they had the concept, and then they sat and wrote a big list of puns, and
Yeah.
then they wrote the script.
Can I tell you one
But
thing about that is going to blow your minds? So you
Go
know
on.
the
What? Oh my God.
children's TV show Bernard's Watch?
Yes.
Do you know that every
it's
single
great.
episode has the word time in?
How do you mean? Like the
The
episode
episode
name?
name. And the last one is called
Oh.
Time's Up.
That's good.
Is that when the fucking time cops come for
That's when
Bernard?
the postman comes, because it's like the postman who gives him the watch in the original
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
And he comes, he goes to America, Bernard, and he takes the watch away
Yeah.
and gives him an electric watch. Like a normal watch.
What is
that's
the
like
electric?
you know, like with a digital time.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
'cause in
So it
America,
doesn't stop
obviously,
time.
everyone has digital watches.
Does it still stop time?
No,
Though?
it's just a regular watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's gonna be like, oh no, I have to take this off of you before you hit puberty. Trust me.
Yeah.
You'll
Trust
be
me.
doing
It's gonna be
far
a
too
lot
much
less.
masturbation.
It's gonna be a lot less charming in a few minutes. So let me take this from you now. Oh god. Yeah.
Cool.
So I think for me, I agree. I enjoyed it a lot more this time round.
I didn't say a lot more. I said a bit more.
Oh, I enjoyed it quite a bit more. So when I watched it on DVD, just back in the old days, I didn't catch it in cinemas. In the old days, 2011, and 12 years ago. We're so
yeah.
old.
Yeah.
And we've known each other for longer than that amount of time.
I know.
Time.
Well, I've known you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, us.
Time.
Jen still feels very new, even though it has been 7 years.
Yeah, still
Still
fresher.
feels like a
I'm
sort
just
of
old
new
and
friend.
crumbly. You're fresh and new.
Old Katie.
Good old Katie.
Good old Katie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember going into watching this, all I could remember was the first act, which I remember quite well because it's quite strong. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a Twilight
Okay,
Zone
yeah, the first
episode.
act is pretty strong.
Yeah. And then I remember him going to New Greenwich, and all I remembered the rest of the movie being was the casino stuff. I thought he just stayed in high society and tried to do political games, and I found it very boring. So it was weird that I completely forgot this whole Robin Hood-based second half, really.
Sexy vigilantes.
Sexy vigilantes,
Yeah.
and that was quite fun. So I was quite
Yeah.
on board, and yeah, it's just, it comes down to the silliness. I think it needed just a couple more layers of obfuscation between, you know, the premise and the metaphor they're going for. Otherwise, it is just too direct.
Yes.
I think.
And I do think that there could have been a bit more, like, he basically forgot about Olivia Wilde when he got to thing. So it could have been a bit more like, my mum is dead kind of thing because of you. As opposed to like, oh, I'm
could have-
doing this for
well-
the whole of society. It would have been better
Yes.
if it was like, I'm doing this for my family.
Yeah, and the dad takes over in terms of like talking about the past. Like suddenly it's all about his weird dad we never met, and it's like you could have just continued to talk about. Like other revenge movies, you find ways, and I don't like flashbacks; they're too vulgar. But you can find other ways to keep the idea, the concept of the mum
Yeah.
alive
Yeah.
as he's doing things. Like, you know, oh, mum would
True.
have loved
Yeah,
this,
or
or,
just-
Or maybe
you know,
she
this
could
is-
have been doing small bits of vigilante. You know, why does
Just-
it have to be
yeah.
missing dad?
See, you bring
Yeah.
Jen round.
It's
Well,
so
yeah,
it's
exactly.
so that the cop could be like, I know, have like a bit of a vendetta. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that too, but like I actually think that they could have just cut the dad storyline. Cillian
Yeah.
Murphy,
Yeah.
killing Murphy, whatever. He didn't need to have something against his dad.
No, he didn't.
No, we didn't need personal
He's-
stakes.
he's
He's
a
a job's
cop.
worth.
Yeah.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
he's like, I've been doing this for 50 years. Make that his thing. Oh, I've been doing
Yeah.
this 50 years.
And-
I've never let anyone get away before. He's like, you know, raison d'etre.
Yeah.
As opposed to like,
Yeah.
oh, I know his dad. It's like, no, we don't care about the fucking dad. Have the dad be
No.
like a nothing, and that's why he loved Olivia Wilde so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I did like the idea that Cillian Murphy used to be incredibly poor and that he got out
I'm
by
trying
It's
to
like,
pull the-
you're
becoming
from
this
here,
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah,
pull the
'cause he
ladder
can
up
run.
behind him.
Exactly.
Because he's like bought into the system, but he's kind of like not so much that he loves the rich people because he was still willing to go after the super rich guy,
Yeah, true.
but he just
Yeah, but that
he
was
just loves the
unexpected.
law. That was unexpected and maybe out of
They
character.
thought they would
but
be able to buy him. Yeah. It's like the relationship between sort of, you know, the Republicans and the police. You know, it's this idea that they would engender this fierce loyalty because they've instilled in them this idea of sort of traditional values kind of thing, which, yeah, I mean, it's solely the sort of economics side of things here. And again, I think it makes for a good episode of like The Twilight Zone, this kind of thing. But it's a bit trickier to make it work sustainably for a nearly 2-hour movie. But I still had fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. And it makes some interesting things. Like, there's moments, well, I guess that's a quick fire, but I think it brings up some interesting points where it's like, if literally time is your, I mean, sometimes it completely falls apart and, you know, people with like 5 minutes on the clock are like, we should talk very slowly to each other right now. But there's also some, you know, moments where it's like, if you really were constantly having to rush around and, you know, if time was money, what would, if you didn't have that much of it, like, it raised questions.
There could have been some more like time is relative stuff going on, because they talk about how like at the beginning of him being in New Greenwich, they're like, you're not from around here, you do things too fast.
Yes, exactly.
Because people who have all this time and have all the money should be slower. There could have been more of that. It being very relative, like everything was really quick in like the you know, it could have been a lot quicker, everything that was happening in the whatever it's called, the ghetto.
They could have.
Everything was really overly slow. There wasn't enough contrast for us to.
There wasn't enough
it.
people genuinely running everywhere in the ghetto. There was a lot of people being willing to stand in queues. I mean, I guess, I can relate to that. Was there anything more fun than standing in a queue, fellow Brits?
I don't even know what the queue is for, but goddamn it, I'm joining it.
But I liked that, like, once they started like Robin Hooding out all the money, people were more willing to just hang around and watch scenes. And like Cillian Murphy's like, oh look, I'm going to take all this money off you, and then you won't be standing around watching stuff.
Yeah, that could have also been a thing. It's this idea that if you have commodified time in such a way that, what does that? What impact does that have psychologically on a person if they literally have no spare time? Yeah, you know, that they can't be spending trying to extend their lifestyle. You know,
what if the Victoria line is running slowly? Like, do we get compensated? Like, what if I'm like,
but like,
you know,
internally, because we have that, because, you know, Uber drivers, for example, have to make that decision all the time where they have complete control over how long they work. You know, how much is your free time worth to you? You know, how
very little.
Taking an afternoon off. Well, that's an issue, because like if you want to take an afternoon off to go see a football game or something, is it worth how much money you would have made?
I have a similar less minute by minute, but because of the way I work freelance, and like sometimes if I want to book a holiday in the year and I want to, like, I have to book that time out sometimes, you know, like months and months in advance because of the way I get work. It's like, well, okay, fine, I can take those 2 weeks and then we could maybe go on this holiday, and it's the cost of that, but I also don't get any paid holiday. So I have to think, and then someone maybe offers me a contract for that same period. It's like, is my holiday worth like that much? I don't know.
Spoiler, always is.
It's interesting.
Always take always
is.
Over money.
It is.
You know which decision I'm making.
Hard.
But yeah, there's it is strange to have that. What is your free time worth? Thought.
It's interesting. Yeah, and it would have been fun to see like more of that at play.
It would.
Yeah, and what other things cost as well. So we had the bus, which cost 2 hours, and we had the coffee that cost 4 minutes or 5 minutes or something. Yeah. And it's like, how much would other stuff cost? Like, I want to know.
There was a hotel room for 5 hours a night, and I'm like, that's fun because you're buying it so that you can sleep, which is downtime, dead hours anyway. Does everyone in the ghetto sleep for like minimal hours so that they can work more and get more in?
At one point, doesn't he?
Does he? Okay.
Yeah, like
everyone. Yeah, I guess what's his face? Big Bang Guy is like
Johnny Galecki.
Yeah, constantly. And they work at the start when they're mentioning how long they'll go work for, Olivia Wilde's off to go work for 2 days. Yeah. Like she goes 2 hours away so that she can work like a really long shift somewhere and then come back. And I guess it's
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Okay, that is the end of this stunning head-to-head.
Oh yeah, head-to-head. Whoa.
The head-to-head was we both
I really liked it, and you quite liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was average. So
fine.
And I liked it fine.
I liked it more than Ant-Man 3.
And that's the end of the head-to-head. Quick fire.
Early on, when they're standing in the queue to get paid after he's gone to the to work in the factory, just like a bodiless voice from further back in the queue just goes, "Move, you're taking forever," and it's like, "Oh yeah,
heard that.
yeah, you are. Like this, my time."
Someone at the back might be dying.
Yeah, you are literally. It's not just costing me time, which is annoying. You are costing me money right now, and someone might be dying. We all need our cash quickly. So yeah, there you go.
Someone just falls dead in the queue.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, that was one thing.
Okay, Katie?
I liked, on their arm, you have this kind of Donnie Darko style, the years kind of down. I liked that it went years, weeks, hours, minutes, seconds, because if they'd done months, it would have been different every month, because months don't have a consistent amount of time.
True.
So they missed out the months, and I thought that was fucking clever.
True.
That is quite clever, actually. Speaking of clever, mine is that Olivia Wilde is really pretty.
Yeah, she is.
Also,
Congrats.
JT,
She's got a really good smile
very hot.
that I like a lot.
That would have been one of mine.
Hey, a lot of the cast members in this, pretty hot. Cillian Murphy,
Pretty
Cillian
hot.
Murphy's
Very
top
hot.
5
super hot.
for me.
Yeah.
I mean, not in this
Super hot.
film. I mean, top 5 in life.
I liked the sound design on the gangsters' cars. They had it sounded like they had hydraulic doors, all the cars. They were like old schooly cars, like old schooly saloon cars, but they all had strip light, like for headlights, they had like a strip of lighting across the front, sci-fi. And they all their doors were like shunk, shunk, shunk. You can put the real sound in. It's
No, I think that's fine. I think we'll stick to that. Thank you.
No, I just like that.
No, it's good stuff because yes, they did a retro future thing, so they wanted it to look like how the future would have looked to like the 70s, which I think they also did a retro future thing for Gattaca as well. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a cool way of doing things, I think.
Yeah, because then you get around the problem. You can be like future, but we can just ignore the internet and anything
and
that would make this
to...
story a lot simpler.
Yeah, indeed, and it doesn't have to look like Minority Report like every other sci-fi. Yeah.
They had a couple of cute history bits in there. So one of them was that the vault code was Charles Darwin's birthday, which was cute. But also, some of you may not know this, but some of the characters are named after famous watchmakers. So that's a nice little history tidbit, which I enjoyed.
So, of course, that watchmaker, Jonathan Timberlake. It makes so much sense now.
That reminds me of that bit of Friends. Monica Clarkin. Yeah, anyway.
Oh, yeah. I like it when the rich guy asks Timberlake, what would you do if you had that much time on the clock? And he says something like, I'd stop watching it.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. I like the idea that he would relax. He wouldn't have to keep thinking
like
about
money.
Because that is ultimately
it.
Wait, it's like money?
It's just like did you guys not know?
Hey, it's a metaphor.
It's like if I didn't have to check my bank account every day, which I do at the moment.
That's it.
I would relax a lot more.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing. That's the privilege of having money is you can spend it without having to think about how much you spent. And that was a nice little moment because it's nice to feel heard by this big multi-million-dollar movie.
Yeah. Is it me?
Jen.
Is me? Another design thing that I liked was the time holders, like the little rectangular slabby metal things with the cutout that they could put on their wrists and get store time in them, and then you could top your time up from your wrist. I liked people just putting things on their wrist and being like time, and I really just liked that they were just slim. They looked like stainless steel. They weren't too fancy, and they just looked very touchable. Like you could actually pick one up and give yourself time. I liked them.
And the fluttering sound that accompanied the movement of time was quite good.
I'm gonna give you 30 minutes so you can have a decent lunch.
And it would be like almost like a heartbeat when it was getting like it would slow down. And up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Stuff. I like that.
It was fun.
Ken.
Did you just call me Hen?
I called you Ken.
Ken. So like Katie and Jen mixed together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that.
Okay.
Sometimes I mix words together or
that
move letters around in kind of a wacky way. Oh my god!
Like Brangelina.
Ken was seen out this week. Is Jetty better?
No, I think Ken is good. I like it.
Yeah.
Just like Ken. Oh my god! It's Brangelina and Ken.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, my name's Ken.
Our name is Ken.
we're speaking as one at this point.
Okay.
Hello.
We are Ken.
We are Ken. We are Ken.
Oh dear.
It's quite a cool idea of just we're having a dinner party. We've invited Ken. Oh, who's Ken? Oh, you haven't met Ken. Oh, okay, Ken, great. And then just you two show up, and it's like, oh,
Oh.
oh, oh, not what I expected from a Ken.
Okay, so I
both in cat suits.
in the same cat suit. We're just wearing one.
Yeah, just one.
four-legged
A
cat
joint
suit.
one.
Yeah.
You're just over in a four-legged cat suit. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I liked the bits, some of the bits where Justin Timberlake acted like a 28-year-old. So there's a bit where he goes to a bar. And he's like, I'm going to go to a bar because I'm 28.
Yeah.
There's a bit
Yeah.
where he like flirts with the waitress. And she says, do you do everything
Oh,
fast?
yeah.
He's like, not everything.
Not
Not
everything.
everything.
Yep,
He's
I
like,
have
okay.
that.
And, you know,
And she's like what? And he's like, I fuck slow. I fuck real slow.
I fuck slow?
I fuck slow. It takes me ages
Yeah.
to come. You're going to get so bored.
you were going to be really bored. You're going to be checking
You're going to have a
your
lot of time to
arm.
organise your weekend.
You're going to be thinking about your laundry.
Yeah.
It's going to be really
Oh,
boring
yeah.
for you.
I
You
think
wanna...
everyone comes real fast in this world. Like, just real
Not in New
fast.
Greenwich, they don't.
No.
Yeah, not New Greenwich.
No.
They do not.
No.
Also, if someone's 105, they stopped aging at 25, but do they still have the stamina of a 25-year-old?
I
Yeah,
guess.
that's implied. That would be rubbish if not.
Yeah.
If you get to be 1,000,000 years old, but you have the stamina of 1,000,000-year-old.
Yeah.
So I like those
gotta be
bits
the
because it
vitality.
was like,
Yeah.
because Justin
Yeah.
Timberlake, he kind of acts a bit like older than 28-year-old, like protecting his mum, protecting
Yeah.
his, you know, the world basically. It was nice to see him be
Yeah.
28 every now and again. Like, oh, actually, you're supposed
Yeah.
to be 28. Okay, cool. Because when
Yeah.
I was 28, I was not making good decisions.
No.
That's fair. I think it's really sad when the mum dies. Like, that's a really
Yeah, I
upsetting
like that
sequence.
scene. I like it.
It's really,
So upsetting. I
it's
loved
really
it.
tense.
It's really
Oh,
good.
so good.
It is.
Yeah, let's watch it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really sad and like really tense and just but in her final moments she knew that she had made it. She saw her son and she was like happy to see him and like she had a big smile on her face when the clock ran out, and it's like that's really sad, but it's like the only consolation she can make is that she thought she was going to make it right up to the
Also,
end.
I like
It's
the
like,
callback. Okay, so you get that scene, and then right at the
Oh,
end,
yeah.
you get the callback to the scene where he's running towards Amanda Seyfried. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, cool.
Yes.
They did like a,
Yeah.
we did this, and now we're going to do it again kind of thing. Like, it wasn't,
They all-
it was nice.
The other sad thing is on this watch, there's a moment where in the kitchen before they part ways to go work, she's like, oh, let me give you an
Yes.
extra half an hour so you can have a nice lunch. And I was like,
Oh, you're such a mum.
that's real sad because I know you're going to need that half hour later. And it was just,
Oh shit, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
yeah, that's a good moment because it's not too
fuck.
but what if you have to run for a bus later, Mum, and they won't let you on the bus and then you have to run 2 hours to get home?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was exactly half an hour away from being
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
So, bad times.
Yeah.
Bad timings. But hang on, she was expecting an hour and a half. No,
1 hour bus ticket.
Don't think too
cost?
hard
Okay,
about
yeah, fair
the
enough.
bus
Okay.
mechanics.
Yeah.
I started
That's
and
fine.
then realised it's nah.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have the time.
You've also run out of
Alright,
JT songs, haven't you?
Yes,
Well,
I have.
it's too late to apologise.
That was mine. It's too late. My God, Hart plays
With
that fucking
One
opera.
Republic.
Jen.
When he's running out of the kitchen, being chased by I think it's when he's hustling Amanda Seyfried out. Yes, because it's a bougie kitchen full of it's rich kitchen.
Oh yeah.
There's a woman he bumps into, and she just kind of like in the kitchen. They like squeeze her a bit, and they're knocking people out of the way. She just sort of gets bumped and then just collapses to the floor, and she just like falls down. And I'm like, I liked that.
That was relatable.
be-
I don't know why. There's just something about her. I enjoyed it.
She was like, I'm going to be in this JT
Stole that
film
scene.
for like, 10 seconds. Let's
Yeah,
milk it.
yeah, and I'm gonna collapse really well.
Yeah.
Like she fell over like in a way I think I would have fallen over in that moment. It's just
that
like
moment, yeah.
not just fallen over and held myself against something, just fully collapsed to the floor.
So fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Katie.
I guess my last kind of thing on the quickfire.
Oh my god.
On the quickfire is
on the quickfire
is that in dystopia I like it when they don't over-explain things. So sometimes you get dystopia. It's like back 500 years ago, this happened, and then this happened. Then there was a war, and then something else happened, and blah blah blah. And they over-explain it, and you're like, do you know what? Just tell me what the premise is, and I'll just fill in the blanks. And I like that they didn't over-explain it. They weren't like the rich took over and made zones, and then which works with something like the Hunger Games, which is 3 books long or 4 movies long, and you've got time because it's a book. Like, you've got time to explain why. And then you write a prequel, so there's 4 books. There's more time. This didn't have time. I didn't mean to say time like 5 times. But I like that they didn't over-explain it, because that would have
they just
made
jumped
it even
in.
worse.
We were genetically modified. Here we go.
Let's go.
That is good.
Yeah. I'll mention something that's really. Can I mention one of the dumb lines? One of the cheesy lines.
Yes. All right. You know what? Let's just do our cheesy lines then.
Yeah. There was a lot of cheesy lines. Some were absolute garbage. Some were pretty funny. But the one that made me laugh was, it was so dumb.
He's done in minutes. He'll wake up dead. That'll be a shock.
And it was the way he delivered it. It's just like bit part gangster. You know that was like his only line in the film. And he just standing at the side sharing a scene with Cillian Murphy, and he's like, with Alex Pettifer. He's like, he'll wake up dead. That'll be a shock. And you're like, you practice that in the mirror like for weeks.
Timelines. But here are lines that pertain to time. So. You better get out of here, or someone's going to clean that clock.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
Cleaning the clock,
Really bad.
Don't waste my time. I've finally got the time to take my mom to New Greenwich.
Yeah, I've finally got the time to
Oh, when they're trying to find him, it's like, follow the time.
Yes, that was, well, I always do. Follow the time. And it's like, oh, no.
We'd know.
No.
Yeah.
We'd know if somebody here had it. Trust me. That time left town.
That time left town.
That time left town.
True. Yeah.
And then, just stuff like, that'll be 8.5 weeks, please. Just, a little silly. And then finally, congratulations, you've taken years off of my father's life.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
It's like, they really were like writing this. What was that one guy, wasn't it? He was writing it, and he was like, this is just, I love this. So many
writing
puns,
itself.
Yeah.
This is
writing
itself. Yeah. Unlike the stupid Truman Show.
God damn it,
the
Truman
script
Show.
is on fire.
And he looks at
You've ruined me, Jim Carrey.
the big poster of the Truman Show. Is like, God damn it, all his accolades.
Jen, do you have any others?
Just the whole being hot vigilantes. I just thought they were cute and hot together. Just JT and Amanda, she just wore her tiny dresses and her huge heels. I didn't hate the hair that much, but she just had her massive eyes, and he was just JT looking hot. And they were just being cute, and they were like, at one point she's like, we look cute together, because when they're watching themselves on TV being, most wanted announcements. And I was just like, I'm into this. I'm into them being hot vigilantes running around, being cute together.
It's a fun premise.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, if we're finished quickfiring, then I think it's time to head on over to the OGT.
But we're both here.
How dare you? So, nothing on Twitter or Facebook, but on Patreon, we have Jennifer Blundell saying she's very excited to rewatch this grade A film.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And I was excited, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you sound very excited.
So excited. And then we had Helen Gaffney.
Oh, yeah.
Say, the only thing I can remember about this film is finding Amanda Seyfried very attractive, and also being vaguely aware of how impractical the time money system is if it can be fucked up by some dude. I mean, so many things can be fucked up by some dude, and it doesn't mean they're not
You guys
good.
have, Elon Musk,
My
right?
life. Oh, he's going to subvert the whole system.
Yeah. I missed a good thing was you kind of mentioned it before, but it was JT appearing out. She's like, when she's like, you've hired a lot of new bodyguards, father.
but you missed.
And you
one
missed
too many.
one too many, and he just popped out with his little.
Yeah, and he's wearing the glasses.
He's wearing the glasses, and he's just like, "Hey," and I'm like,
no, how did you get there?
That was so
how?
good.
He was in front.
He was in front, and no one. And it's just a billion. I assume they were all mercenary guards, and none of them wanted to work together because they're all just flocking around him.
I don't understand why they didn't change her hair at some point if they were trying to hide. Like, she looks exactly the same for the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's like, you should have just
she does.
dyed
She
or
does.
cut her hair.
Because she had to stay looking hot and cute.
She would have looked hot with any hair. She's Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah, true.
That's true. That is extremely true. She's got very large eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So
very large
eyes.
Eyes.
Giant,
Up here.
beautiful,
Up here, they're up
Giant,
eyes.
beautiful round eyes.
We also heard from Luke. Now, Ciancio. I feel like Goodman says.
Yeah, Ciancio.
Is that right? Ciancio. Come on. I feel like Goodman says it different, but who's trusting this guy these days? He says, so embarrassingly, I genuinely like this film, especially the first third.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you. It has that Philip K. Dick short story feel that I'm very fond of, with the one-sentence premise and the extrapolation to society. Good things. One of the first shots of the film is a Justin Timberlake ab glamour shot. Look at that sheen. The continuous and egregious time puns throughout the whole film covered you there. Cillian Murphy has a lovely soft-spoken voice on the phone and throughout the whole film, really. Good stuff. You're going to love that voice. Can't wait for Oppenheimer, where it's going to have that lovely, charming German lilt. I like the warmth of the yellow streetlights in the night scenes. That's something that young people are going to not know about because all lights are now going to be white LEDs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're missing out, young kids.
Kind of orange.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. So the line that sets it up is dumb, but the "don't waste my time" drawn into the fog on the window glass is a sweet moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked that too.
And finally, how Justin Timberlake and Olivia Wilde almost met before she dies. I used to run, and chasing a time that you're trying to make feels like this movie shows. You think that if you run just a little faster and harder, you'll make the time, and inevitably you fall short, and it's devastating. Especially when you're trying to save your mum's life.
Yeah,
at the time.
especially
That guy,
yeah.
every time. He saves his
Yeah.
mum
Every
life.
time.
Every time.
His mum is really melodramatic. She literally puts a guillotine up there and a candle underneath a string.
Come on,
It's
Luke.
like,
Better
come
get a
on.
new PB.
And by that she means peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
it's my final meal.
Yeah.
So, thank you, OGT.
Thank you, OG team.
You'll get that reverb. So, let's talk about the one better thing. The one better thing.
Wah, wah, wah.
One better thing.
Didn't really think too hard, but it's probably Hunger Games.
Oh, probably.
Sorry, yeah, it's probably Hunger Games. You want dystopian fun? It's the same place. It's
Dystopian fun.
It's just a different. It's the same place, just a different sci-fi concept put on top of it. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's fun and the same
Me too.
basic idea of just we're going to take down the rich people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really like this film. Just give it a watch. It's fun. It's easy. It's easy
Oh.
going.
Yeah, give In Time a watch.
It's like that guy said. It's a fun way to spend an easy afternoon, and
Easy afternoon.
whilst you're wondering whether your COVID vaccination gave you 5G.
I've got 5G.
Why isn't my phone reception better then?
My
Katie.
one better thing is the adorable
better thing.
rom-com with Emma Caulfield from my favourite show in the world, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh.
Timer, which is out 2009. The premise is that you get a thing on your wrist that counts down to the exact time you're going to meet your soulmate.
Oh my god, I've never heard of this.
And Emma Caulfield is the
premise.
main character, and hers is like really, really long, like far in the future, and her sister has got like a really soon one or something. And then Emma Caulfield decides that instead of waiting around, she's just gonna like find some guy to have fun with, and starts to question the whole system basically. But it's a rom-com, but with that sci-fi edge, with the time.
I like that.
Added in.
Cute.
Timer.
Ooh. That is
Lovely.
good. I like that. So I kind of wanted to go for like the second series of Westworld because there's this whole third series, because there's this whole thing involving Aaron Paul where basically an incredibly intelligent computer has programmed out everybody's lives and is sort of subtly nudging people towards where they need to be, which includes potentially being a drug addict or being a criminal if that's what's most useful for the system for you to be, but also what you're best disposed for. And it's just maintaining this level of balance, which also, again, in a slightly more subtle way, stands in for the ways in which our society pushes us down certain paths, because it's the best place, for us to be by their perspective. But in terms of a movie, I think I'd go Looper.
Oh, yes.
Which, a very good film, extremely good Rian Johnson film, which is just exciting and thrilling and clever and has that retro future feel to it as well. I think they go with this idea that the 30s are in, so everybody's wearing like 30s mobster fashion, very thin like ties and things. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis are both really good in it, and it might be Bruce Willis's last great role, before things. And best wishes to him and his family now. But yeah, it's an extremely good film, and it does have that sort of metaphorical sense of when these guys enter a life of crime, what they're doing is sort of mortgaging, their future. They're sort of just borrowing against the idea that eventually the loop will be closed, and that it's them themselves who are closing this loop. So, and it's the kind of tragic idea that once you loop out, great, you'll get a huge amount of money, go and enjoy it, and eventually you'll be killed by yourself.
Yeah.
This horrible thing will happen to you eventually, but as Joseph Gordon-Levitt says, this job only really appeals to a certain kind of short-sighted person, so they just go in for that. So
Beautiful.
Looper.
Cool.
Yeah. The one better thing. Jen, how can people find out more about you and your endeavours?
Well, I do a bunch of podcasts. Me and you do one, Paul. Jen and the Film Critic. That's fun. We talk about you watch cinema stuff, and I listen to you talk about it.
I watch cinema.
You watch cinema things, and I'm gonna listen to you talk about Ant-Man 3. I'm sure it's for too long.
Very soon.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send you guys a voice note, and I want you to play it in its entirety.
Please,
do it.
Please. I'm going to predict 4 stars.
Oh, you are. If those are the 4 stars that I will be leaving out of my.
I have to compensate for Katie.
Okay. There's also Quest Fantastic, a Dungeons and Dragons actual play podcast that you are also on. That's very fun, very silly. We play Dungeons and Dragons, and it's a great time. And
then the best one.
Oh, yeah, best to last. I also do a podcast called Roll Plus Heart, where we play a bunch of anthology. It's an anthology show, so we play a bunch of smaller role-playing games. And it generally runs very silly, but we've had some more dramatic mini campaigns. And that's also a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm not in.
I did say it was the best one, Paul.
That's right.
I think that answers your question for you.
Yeah. Katie, how about you? How can people find out about all of your endeavours and adventures?
All of my podcasts are with you, Paul. So,
Oh my God.
You can go to Screen Mayhem.
You do a lot of podcasts, Paul.
And look at you can listen to our podcast where we watch all the Macbeth films.
Yes.
2 episodes short.
Yeah, we
need to catch up.
You can listen to the one where we talk about the Saw movies. And you can listen to the episodes of this that I'm on if you want to. You may have already listened to them.
Oh my God, there's so much.
Yeah. That's about it, really. I have a regular job, so I don't do anything else.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Shit. I have an irregular job.
And I slack at work.
I steal slacks from people at their jobs, so that's my job. It's very irregular. I'm Paul Slacks. Also OGT Pod as well, if you want to find out more about all of this stuff. And we have a Patreon where Jen and Katie will also be doing something. I haven't decided yet. Oh God,
it's going to be great.
It's so good.
It's
going to be so good.
Better than this episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm Paul selling this episode.
I'm Jen Blundell. That's my real name.
I'm Katie, and you really just don't need to know much more about me. It's fine.
Just Katie.
I'm Katie, and that's all you need to know. That's quite a cool, meeting line. And remember, the one good thing about In Time. Oh, I should do a time poll.
You're running out of time, Paul. The theme tune started.
It
started already. You're running out of time. Quickly.
This time is left down.